Are you sure you're ready for this? I'll do my best. Your best? Losers always whine about their best. Welcome back to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? I want to extend an Alcatraz tour guide welcome to today's pod, the one and only JJ. Welcome back, man.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having me.
And thanks to you for picking the Cageaissance. That's what we're deep into. We've started the Cageaissance, and we're going to keep it going with The Rock from 1996, which is part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1, go on over and check that out. And then come back next week for Con Air. And then we're following it up with a live viewing of Face Off. I'm going to hopefully be in the presence of JJ, and we will record this live. Actually, it won't be live, but it will be live to us. It will be recorded, and then you'll listen to it whenever you want. But it'll be live to us. Get cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
On June 7th, Alcatraz is back in business.
A battery of VX gas rockets is presently deployed on the population of the San Francisco Bay Area.
Now, the only way to stop the unthinkable is to get the one man who broke out of the rock.
I have a unique knowledge of this prison facility. I was formerly a guest here.
To lead a chemical weapons specialist.
You're a chemical freak. Chemical super freak.
To break back in. From Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, the producers of Top Gun and Crimson Tide, and Michael Bay, the director of Bad Boys.
Welcome to the Rock.
Sean Connery.
30 years ago, I vowed I wouldn't die in this toilet.
Nicolas Cage.
All right, I have to do it myself. I got 3 weeks weapons training.
Fire.
This summer, get ready.
You enjoying this?
To rock.
That's just about the most awful thing I've ever seen.
The Rock. Rated R.
Oh, man. I love trailers in the
That's a great one.
80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Like, pretty great. They don't do them like that anymore.
Nah, and that one too is great because it doesn't really give away too many spoilers. Whereas nowadays, I kind of stay away from trailers.
Yeah, there's this weird thing, this theory that I have that because we're so addicted to social media and we're reels and stories that last 5 seconds, and I think the studios want to give us the whole movie so that we're like, oh, okay, I'll go see that. Like, they don't want to keep anything secret anymore.
Giving away too much.
I don't agree with it. And speaking of giving away too much, this is spoiler zone, so we're going to give away everything. We're going to get into popcorn trivia right now.
Let me tell you something, Pandeo.
All right, I already told one trivia point last week of how Sean Connery wanted a house built for himself on Alcatraz. I thought that was hilarious. He had a room at the Hyatt Hotel. I forgot the name. That's where he stayed, was at the Hyatt. I feel like that's not good enough for Sir Sean Connery.
Nah, if I'm staying at a Hyatt, like Sir Sean Connery should not be staying at a Hyatt.
Yeah, he needs like a St. Regis or Four Seasons or something really nice. Like maybe I guess that's not close by. There's got to be a high-end hotel in San Francisco. Come on.
Yeah.
Not the Hyatt. No offense to Hyatt, who is a sponsor of this pod. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we love Hyatt.
Yeah, we love the Hyatt. The next trivia point that I have is the premiere of the movie was held in the prison recreation yard on Alcatraz, dude.
What? That is awesome.
Can you imagine going and watching this movie on Alcatraz in the prison yard?
That is insane. I didn't know that. That's so cool they allowed them to do that.
I can't believe it. And I've already said it out of my mouth, and I still can't believe it.
Have you seen footage or anything of this? I gotta look this up.
There's pictures of Sean Connery at the premiere, and he looks so awesome. Like,
I bet he does.
what an amazing time that would have been. My last one is the studio wanted this movie shot in LA with only with only a handful of exteriors of Alcatraz and San Francisco to complete the illusion. But director Michael Bay refused, telling them, I gotta shoot on this island because this island is so effing biatchin, is what he said.
Love it, Bay.
Dude, I hate people that don't like Michael Bay. I know he creates these spectacles and they're kind of silly, but dude, he's awesome.
Well, I mean, and what he says is so accurate. Like, this movie being filmed on Alcatraz puts it on another level. Like, I can't imagine if they had like fake set whatnot back then. Like, that would just sucked.
I mean, you can tell, and there's no CGI. They're on the rock. It's amazing.
Yeah, we've both been there, correct?
I have, yes.
Yeah, and I went there about 4 or 5 years ago, and watching this movie since I visited, it's just so incredible because you see all the spots. You know, like, oh wow, yeah, I was right there too.
Correct. And listen, Alcatraz itself lives rent-free in my mind because of
our minds
because of Call of Duty. What an amazing map that you get to play on.
Shout out to Black Ops 4.
The OG. The new Warzone sucks balls. The freaking Alcatraz map, when it came out, it was revelatory.
It's goated.
And
the map is exactly how it is on the island.
Unbelievably accurate.
Once again, watching this, some spots I knew exactly where they were in the movie because of the video game, and then actually visiting the rock.
Correct. You're like, oh yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
If you go over this side over here, you're gonna get really good cover.
Yeah, there's some new industries over here. You want to go over there? Oh, that's where that rocket is, in between the factory and the lighthouse.
Yeah, we're experts. And what's funny is the video game, again, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 paid multiple homages to the film in the mission gulag of the game. So the playthrough, the storyline, the player must fight through a shower hall of the prison, which looks exactly like the shower hall of Alcatraz in the movie. Also in a mission, the player uses green flares to signal aircrafts, which is an homage to when Nick Cage does that at the end. So cool.
So props to Bay for standing on his ground and saying, yeah, we're going to shoot on Alcatraz, because well done.
Yes. Well done. I salute you. That's all the trivia I have. Did you have any?
Yeah, I have some trivia. Just one about kind of going back to our boy, Michael Bay, the Bayham.
The Bayham.
First off, like, what?
Wait. Before you go, have you seen Ambulance?
No.
Please. Make that.
I need to.
I know you've got some homework to do for Con Air and Face Off, because that's the case.
But Ambulance is up there?
I would recommend it.
All right. It came out like during COVID. It was just like a weird time. I needed to catch it though.
Yeah, it was a weird time, but you should go see it. Anyway, sorry. Excuse me.
You're good. But the Bayham, he's coming from Bad Boys to The Rock to Armageddon, which is quite the three.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, my trivia was, we all know the Bayham loves explosions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he loves helicopter shots.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he had so many helicopter shots that Jerry Bruckheimer, he kept fighting with him to cut helicopter shots. And he ended up cutting a lot of them. Oh. But watching the movie, there is still a lot of helicopter shots.
There is. Yes.
But I guess that was like a point of contention between him and D. Bruckheimer. So.
Yeah, Bruckheimer and Bayham and Don Simpson, R.I.P., all really love the military and love including them in the films as much as possible.
And then my only other trivia was, this was Oscar nominated for Best Sound.
It should have won.
You know what one?
Do I want to know?
No.
Okay. I guess
English Patient.
The English Patient?
Yeah. I think English Patient like won all the awards that year. Best Picture, just everything. But Best Sound? Come on.
Give it to The Rock, man.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I guess we're ready for beefs?
Let's do it.
Popcorn beefs.
Where's the beef? Hey, where's the beef?
I have a few beefs.
Okay.
I don't think you have any beefs, but I have some.
I have one really small one.
Okay. These aren't in any particular order, and they're not necessarily beefs with the film. So just keep that in mind.
All right.
First beef. Producer Don Simpson, which we already mentioned, RIP, and Jerry Bruckheimer had decided that they were going to dissolve their partnership when the production of this movie finished, mostly due to Bruckheimer's taking issue with Don Simpson's drug overdose and drug abuse problems.
Dang.
Simpson, however, died of a drug overdose, heart failure, before the movie was released, and then the movie was actually dedicated to him. So you know what my beef is? It was a very long pause. That's a very long pause. My beef is with drugs, killing Don Simpson, and my other beef is that they were going to dissolve their partnership.
Drugs can be problematic.
Listen, you got to keep your crap together, everybody. You know, like, we don't want you to go too soon. There's other things that we need from Hollywood, and people die because of this. So just be careful, okay? That's my beef.
Yeah, be careful.
Next beef is Michael Bay's idea for a sequel involved a now married Goodspeed in possession of the microfilm evidence, who finds himself pursued by the government, and with nowhere else to turn, he's forced to ask Mason for help.
Oh my gosh. Give it to us.
Why did that not happen in 1998? That's
a wonderful beef.
It was number 4 on the box office charts, man.
Yeah.
Give all the money to Sean Connery and Nick Cage, and let's give that would have been like a prequel to National Treasure, dude.
There's something special about this movie that doesn't have a sequel or, remake or anything, but if you give me Nick Cage and Sean Connery 2 years, 3 years after this, make it happen.
Yeah. Maybe AI in the future, I can just type in a couple of prompts and I'll just get this sequel. And it'll be kind of weird, but
pretty soon
I'll like it. I'll enjoy it. All right. 2 more beefs. This is a quote from the Bayham himself. There's a major logic flaw in the movie, he says. Why are the boilers working on the rock when this island hasn't been used for years, he says.
Okay. That does make sense.
Then he answers his own question by saying, screw it. It's entertaining, don't you think?
Exactly. That's the mindset you need to go into this movie with, and the next 2.
So here's my beef. My beef is with film nerds. Idiot film nerds like myself, probably. Just listen. Stop complaining about stuff that we know couldn't happen in a movie. Get over it. It's a movie. Like, yeah, there probably isn't any underground pipes and train tracks with, like, I don't know, what are they doing? Like
mining
underneath Alcatraz?
Yeah.
Like
this is an amazing chase scene. Like, I'm all about the chase scene.
Yeah, I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Just shut up. And I love and
the boiler room gives us the amazing scene of Connery rolling and timing the fire and the blades and everything.
That scene is amazing when they're just all looking at him like, are you serious? And then he just disappears into a fireball.
We get the greatest line ever when he opens the door, and what does he say?
Welcome to the Rock.
Yeah.
So my beef is with people who can't just shut their brain off and enjoy.
And a lot of the reviews in the last episode are like that. Like, this is so, you can't do this. Like, just enjoy it. It's an entertainment.
Yeah.
And I was entertained the whole movie.
Correct.
So
exactly.
This is like why we go to the movies. It's a great entertainment popcorn flick.
Yes. And we need more of these, even more now. Please. We need it. We need them. All right, my last beef. My surrogate father, Arnold Schwarzenegger, was offered the role of John Patrick Mason. But at the time, the script was only 80 pages with a lot of handwriting and scribbles, and it didn't seem fully baked, Arnold says. In a Reddit AMA, he stated he regrets not taking the role. Years later, however, he played a part as a convict with the mysterious past in Escape Plan, which was not as good as The Rock.
No way.
He was also considered for Cage's role in Face Off in 1997.
Yeah. I think Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
Exactly. That would have paired him with Stallone, who was considered for John Travolta's role in the same movie. Can you imagine a Face-Off, which I don't even know what that movie is. I know it's a weird film.
You're going to.
But I know that two people are in it and their faces come off. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
I'm fine with you're going to see it, but I'm fine. I love the Travolta Cage Face-Off, but give me a sequel with Schwarzenegger and Stallone Face-Off. Like, that would have been amazing as well.
Wow. I can't. I mean, I'll have a unique perspective because I have never seen Face-Off, and then thinking about this beef will be satisfying.
So your beef is you wanted Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Over Connery?
Listen, it's easy to say it now, right? Years later, but I love the movie that we got. It's just fun to think about. It's a small, medium-sized beef.
It's fun to think about, but I think this movie is perfectly cast with Cage, Connery, and Ed Harris. They're amazing.
Yeah. Really great cast. Just kind of fantasizing about it in my mind is all.
Yeah.
All right. You said you had one beef?
Yeah, it's a small beef, really small beef.
All right, but, mini beef?
I'm not really good at catching this kind of stuff in movies, but I did see a couple wires on some stuntmen in this movie.
Really?
Watching it. That stood out. Like at the very beginning at the chemical weapons heist, somebody gets blown off a tower and I saw a wire. And then at the very end, man, Nick Cage, the explosion on the island, there's this little wire you can see. But anyway, it's very small beef. I don't really notice that kind of stuff usually, but come on, Michael Bay. If I'm noticing, you got to notice.
He's got to notice. Bro, speaking of stuff that you notice, when they're basically, sick 'em, get 'em. That's the pod's mascot, Cooper.
Yeah, he was a big fan of The Rock.
When the first rocket, so the government sends some kind of like airstrike to basically obliterate the island, and one rocket gets away and it hits, right? Which that was really surprising to me. I don't remember it. I was like, oh, nothing hits it, but they actually hit it. That explosion, when they have the helicopter shot or what you would be a drone shot now, that fireball looks real, dude.
I agree. That's one of the things I love about this movie is, one, the effects are really practical, and two, when the CGI is implemented, it's done really well. Just like that explosion at the end you're talking about.
There's no way they had that much gas to explode on the island.
Oh, no way. That's CGI, bro.
It looks so good. Great. It looks so real. Yeah. Man. 1996.
I think the missile too, when they shoot it and it goes across the football stadium, I believe at Candlestick Park at the time, like that looks amazing too.
Correct. And I kind of feel like we're jumping the gun here with some popcorn redemption, but when the jets are flying under the fudging Golden Gate Bridge,
I was like, did they do that?
There's for sure they did that. They had to have done
that. Once again though, like these movies, like these mid-90s movies like Jurassic Park or The Rock, like their CGI and their practical effects look so much better than the stuff today.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I just don't understand why we can't get back to some of that. I think Mission Impossible does the best so far of modern movies doing things, not just the stunts the TC does, but just the practical nature of everything else surrounding the big stunts. But not a lot of movies do.
Shout out to our boy TC. I think we mention him every time I'm on this pod.
It's hard not to when he is.
It's hard
GOAT.
Not to, but
yeah,
we love you, Cruz.
We love you. Thanks for listening. I'm ready for puzzles.
Let's do it. Let's see if we can solve some
popcorn puzzles.
A sphincter says what?
What?
A sphincter says what?
What?
Exactly.
All right, I think you and I and the listeners are going to love this category the most for this movie. And the first question I have and puzzle is, they mention it, I think, multiple times in the movie that no one has ever escaped Alcatraz. Is that real?
Yeah. So I kind of looked into this.
Okay.
And it still remains a mystery, but we know some things.
I mean, Clint Eastwood made a movie called The Great Escape. Did some people get out?
There's 14 attempts. And there's about 36 inmates on those 14 attempts, and like most of them were recaptured, or some were shot, some drowned, but 5 went missing, are labeled as missing. And the ones that people most likely think got escaped happened in 1962. There's 3 guys. And like you mentioned, the Clint Eastwood movie, it's called Escape from Alcatraz. He plays the leader of this escapees, Frank Lee Morris.
Oh.
And this dude had escaped prisons before, bro. So they put him on Alcatraz, and he's chiseling away the concrete around these air vents. He's using some metal spoons he's confiscated, and he's able to dig into a utility room where there's no other like officers. And then they're able to get 2 other guys, these brothers, and they're planning, and they built a raft.
Unbelievable.
And they made these paper mache heads out of these magazines.
I thought this was all just a fake story when I watched that movie.
No, man. So they make these paper mache heads out of these magazines, and they use real hair from the barbershop. They're able to somehow get real hair. And one night they escape. They dig through the holes, and they climb onto their cell roof and run across that, shimmy down some drain pipes. They scaled 2 12-foot barbed wire fences.
Oh my God.
And then they're able to inflate the boat, and off they went.
And we don't know if they got off, or died, or didn't. We don't know.
Well, the alarm wasn't raised until the next morning. Like, they had those decoys in their bed, which is really cool because if you visit, they still have those decoys in the cells where they escaped.
Oh, that's right. I remember them.
Like we said, it's still kind of a puzzle because there's remnants of the raft that was found, as well as some of the life vests. And the FBI did a 17-year investigation, and they just said, they most likely drowned.
And that's it.
Their families have come out now, I saw recently, and said, no, they were alive. There's rumors they went to Brazil.
Whoa.
So it's still a puzzle, but I like to think they got out.
Yeah, dude, if they can, listen, I think there should be a clause, in high school and college, when you'd have a professor say, if you can get a 0% on this test, you get an A 100%. Did anyone ever say that to you?
If you get a what?
If you're taking a test, right? One of those, you fill in the circles with the number 2 pencil, right?
Yeah, your Scantrons.
And they scan the shiz in, right? And I had multiple people tell me, if you can get a 0, I will automatically give you 100%.
Oh man, no, my professors wanted me to get good scores, so I don't think we were trying to get 0s.
But you get the logic, right? Is if you can pick the wrong answer, the right answer, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you can get out of this prison, you win, right? You get your freedom.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Reading about what these guys did, it's super impressive how they were able to. They're on an island, bro.
Yeah.
So if Frank Lee Morris made it, you're good.
Yeah. Stay out.
You don't have to come back unless you recommit some crimes, but
yeah, your sentence has been commuted. You're good. You made it out. You did all those things. Congrats. That's it. Here's another puzzle, because you did way more research about it than I did. Are there tunnels?
Nah.
Are there tunnels under Alcatraz? I don't remember going in any tunnels when I was at the island.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some sewer tunnels and things like that, but I don't think they're full mine shaft.
No. Okay. All right. So we're on the same page there. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another puzzle, and this might be a new popcorn category. I'm going to call it popcorn gross. Did you notice for quite a few of the early scenes in the film that Nick Cage has a sore on his lip?
What?
In the corner of his mouth. It's so gross. He has this weird...
I didn't mention that. I didn't see it.
Oh, man. That was a puzzle to me. I'm like, what is on your face? Do you have herpes? Could you... I don't know. Take a shot. Get that cleared up before you get on the top 4 movie of 1996. You got a little...
Yeah, hopefully it's cleared up for Con Air.
Yeah, kind of gross. This is Michael Bay's favorite movie of his own movies.
I would agree with that, I think.
I would too. I mean, that was a puzzle to me. I didn't know that he loved this so much, and I like that about him.
We both love the Bad Boys.
Oh, I love all of them. I love even the ones that weren't directed by, or the one that wasn't directed by Michael Bay. Speaking of people who like this movie, guess who are two more people that love The Rock? They were famous.
Who likes The Rock?
Guillermo del Toro. Favorite movie.
Favorite movie?
He says this movie is a favorite, I should say.
Okay.
A favorite.
Good.
And then Cristiano Ronaldo is one of his favorite
Wasn't
movies.
expecting that one.
I didn't either. It's a puzzle solved.
It reaches amazing directors to global soccer superstars.
Yeah, I mean,
This movie reaches everybody.
that's why it's so good. And it made more money outside the U.S. This was wild. Quentin Tarantino was an uncredited screenwriter on this movie.
Whoa.
And also Aaron Sorkin.
Wow. Those are two heavy hitters.
That's crazy. I think that we really should put Nick Cage on there too. He was writing his own lines.
I'm sure Connery was too.
Speaking of own lines, we got to play this one again.
Mine car through the tunnels to the power plant under the steam engine. That was really cool, by the way. And into the cistern through the intake pipe. But how, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell? I only ask because in our current situation, well, it could prove to be useful information. Maybe!
So funny.
So good.
Oh man. Here's a puzzle. What is the green goo made out of?
It's VX gas, bro.
No, it's made out of Prel shampoo.
Okay.
I hope it wasn't made out of shampoo when the one that got shoved in that guy's mouth.
Yeah, which is an insane shot.
Oh my gosh. When
He's just spewing the gas in slow motion with his head turning.
Oh, and his bubbling face. So gross.
Yeah, it's a great shot though.
All right, listen. I have one more huge puzzle.
Okay.
But I want to do it last. So if you have any other puzzles, let me know.
I just have two.
Okay.
My first puzzle was, where was the Rock video game at this time?
Dude, that would have been a sick video game.
Dude, we talked about our Call of Duty awesome game, but imagine this came out, like you could play as like Sean Connery and Nick Cage, like a Sonic and Tails kind of dynamic duo, and you break into Alcatraz and you got to destroy the chips in the rockets. Like, I feel like this could have been an epic video game.
It's writing itself.
It's already made. The bad guys are at each rocket. You face the bad guy at the end, the main guy at the end, General Hummel. Imagine we get a Rock video game and then GoldenEye as well, like that back to back. Insane.
Wow, I can't believe how I would have played that game over and over. And then, dude, it took that long for someone to come up with a battle royale. Imagine having a battle royale in 1996 on Alcatraz.
Yeah. Missed out. So I was just thinking that the whole time watching this movie, is like, this would have made a great video game because, like you said, it's written for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other puzzle was, so when the hostages get taken and Hummel calls, like, you know, the head of like whatever department in
FBI or something, in Homeland Security,
in Washington D.C. And he's like, make up a story, don't tell their families. Like, he didn't want to cause panic or whatever. Well, what are they telling these families? They're hostages for 2 days, 48 hours is the time frame here.
Yeah. There's no way the media, I mean, when are cell phones out? Not in 1986.
I mean, there's a cell phone in the Humvee that Sean Connery steals, which is a great scene when he's on the cell phone. He's like, I didn't steal your Humvee.
I guess probably.
I'm just borrowing it.
Probably not a ton of people had cell phones. And they were giant. They were like,
yeah.
You know,
they're
huge.
connected to like some phone, like in the car, you know, things are giant. Yeah.
So but people had beepers. You could have beeped at some 911.
People want to know something's fishy's going on in Alcatraz, I feel like.
Correct. That's a good puzzle.
So, yeah, like, what are they telling these families, you know, that are gone for 2 days? Like,
but you know what that puzzle didn't make me do is hate this movie. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
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 But good puzzle though.
I'm excited to hear your big one.
All right. There's a popular internet theory that John Mason is actually a captured James Bond. And since you and I have done a pod series about James Bond, I felt like we should dig a little deeper into this. There is a really long, and I'm talking long, both movie, like video on YouTube, as well as a Reddit post from this guy who did way too much research, and he even says it in his Reddit post. I went too deep into the rabbit hole, but he has concrete evidence that this is basically a James Bond sequel.
Let's hear it.
So just look it up. It's on Reddit. It's called The Rock came out 25 years ago today, and I've proven that it's James Bond. Here's some of the top level things. Okay. Number one, Sean Connery. This is an easy one, but he's cast, right? That's a connection already. Obviously, he played James Bond. So, and his portrayal of Mason in The Rock is that of an elite British secret agent who has been in prison for decades, something that could fit easily a 007
100%
fate. And then they talk about it he's described as a highly skilled British intelligence operative. He was captured by the U.S. authorities after stealing top secret information from the Pentagon. His ability to escape. So the timeline matches up with Dr. No, because he was in Canada and then they capture him. Okay. And then he escapes. And then during that time that he escaped, that's when he got the film. The timeline only works when he escapes because it has the who killed JFK. Well, one of the things on the microfilm. So that happened in 72. So he got out, got the film, and then they captured him. After he escaped Alcatraz, he went and did another mission, got the film, then he got captured and put in whatever, 30-year maximum security prison that they got him out of. So that's another one. And in the film, Mason is said to have been abandoned by MI6 and left to rot in prison, which definitely aligns with what they would have done. I mean, you and I watched the Daniel Craig Bond films, and M was going to leave Bond to rot.
As soon as they said MI6, I was like, that was a huge connection.
Correct. So the disavowed stuff definitely would happen. They would do it all the time. His skill set is incredibly aligned with what he would be able to do. Escape tactics, something a retired Bond would be able to do, right? Obviously, his knowledge of covert operations and taking the command of the situation, but also just how he carried himself, pretty cocky. He comes back to help. That's something Bond would do. Not just finish a mission. He wouldn't just puss out and leave. He would come back and finish it. Then there's some people are like, oh, it can't be him because his name's, Mason. Well, and they would say that his actual name is James Bond. Well, yes, his name is James Bond, and we know that's his name, but his code name was Mason. And that's when they captured him. That's what would be on his fake ID. And they didn't know who he was because Mason isn't a real person. So that's why they said, they're
sense. Okay.
You look up Mason, there's nothing because that's his code name, right?
Yeah.
There's some other Easter eggs. When Mason is first introduced, he has long hair and a beard looking much like how Bond might have ended up after years in solitary confinement. So that's easy. And he has similar Bond mannerisms, which is easy to connect because it's the actual same actor. But there's a line that he says in the movie that's exactly the same way he said it in, I think it was Dr. No. There's a line that he says and it's verbatim. So there's little hints that he is James Bond. Even Michael Bay has acknowledged that the comparisons to Bond, he's aware of it. The screenwriters knew what they were doing. They knew that they couldn't blatantly say that he was James Bond because the Broccoli's, they own James Bond. So
yeah, we kind of have some beef with the Brocks.
Yeah. they're kind of, I hope they can iron out Barbara Broccoli, her issues with Amazon, MGM Amazon, so that we can get another Bond. But right now it's not looking good, dude. So here's some of the counterpoints that people brought up. I talked about, his name, which we've already solved. No big deal. They don't make any explicit reference to James Bond in the movie, but why would they? Because he says he's Mason and they don't really know who he is. I'm going to say yes.
The evidence kind of stacks up.
Yeah. So the puzzle is it James Bond? The answer is yes. And what a sick, I can't believe how awesome it was seeing him in the cell with his hair and his head hanging down. It was really, it gave me the chills, dude.
Yeah, but I love too, like when he gets all cleaned up and you see him looking fresh in that suit.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Bond would want to, he's like, I want to feel the what it feels like to have a suit on again. That's exactly, it's what he wears.
Bond's probably got some daughters out there too. Like,
oh yeah, that's another one too.
He's got a daughter that like the mom's not in the picture anymore. Like he wasn't too serious with her, which is like on Bond's level.
Yeah, and we know from Daniel Craig's Bond that he's not a deadbeat dad. As soon as he finds out, other than he saved the world so that, spoiler alert, he died, but he would want to see his daughter.
Yeah.
And he even says it in the movies. Like, that's what kept me going, was knowing that I had family out there. I love the fan theory, and it's not a theory for me. It's reality.
Puzzle solved.
Puzzle solved. All right. Any other puzzles before we get into our last category of popcorn redemption?
Redemption.
I have exorcised the demons.
All right. I have many redemptions. I love the scene when they come out of the cistern room, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Just the seals and their heads popping up in the water. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome shot.
It's just really great. And I love that we already talked about, again, the ad-libbing of the lines. We shared them all last week. It's so awesome. We talked about the video game reference in Call of Duty, even in Modern Warfare 2. So cool. And I love this part too. This is what I want to go out on. You give me your redemption too, but like my last one is the car chase in the San Francisco turned out to be the biggest cluster F I've ever done in my entire filming career, says Michael Bay. He said getting clearances for even a 2-block stretch required thousands of signatures, and when they fell behind on the shooting schedule, it resulted in a trio of studio reps arriving to give him a stern talking to. So this led to even more tensions between the studio execs and Michael Bay, and Walt Disney executives were supervising the production. On the commentary track for the Criterion Collection DVD, Bay recalls a time when he was preparing to leave the set for a meeting with the executives and was approached by Sir Sean Connery in golfing attire. Wow. And Connery, who also produced this movie, asked Bay where he was going. And when Bay explained that he had a meeting with the executives based on the overextension of shoots on the car chase scenes, Connery asked if he could accompany him. Bay complied, and when Bay arrived in the conference room, the executives' jaws dropped when they saw Connery appear behind him in golf attire. According to Bay, Connery then stood up for him and insisted that he was doing a great job and should be left alone. That's so amazing. What a cool story. You hear these stories about Sean Connery being misogynistic and kind of a douche to ladies and people. But hearing these stories, a-hole, like hearing this makes me like him that much more.
Yeah, I mean, and he crushed this movie. So
yeah, unbelievable performance by Sir Sean Connery. That's all I got for redemption.
I think you nailed it, bro. Like, great points.
I love it. Rating?
Golden bucket.
Here's the thing. I just got done weeks ago. If you listen to my retrospective of all of my golden buckets / ratings for the whole series of shows that I've done. And I'm going to probably do this every year now, so it won't be as long, but it'll just be from like a year in review. Well, first of all, let me do this because you gave it a golden bucket. I was debating I'm on the fence. I was immediately wanted to give it a golden bucket, but then I'm like, oh, maybe I should give it a large bucket, mainly because I haven't seen Con Air or Face Off in this Cageaissance. So what can you help the priest? I've helped you.
I think you just need to look at this movie. Don't think about the others. Just as this movie stands alone, what would you rate it? Exactly.
Easy golden bucket then.
That's the way to look at it.
And you know what's funny? Like, because of just my life, I watched half of this, and then I had to stop because it was super late, and I wanted to make sure I could really watch it. So I came back to it, and I ended up watching most of it again because it was so good, dude. It's so much fun.
It holds up. Like I mentioned before, I'm entertained the whole 2 hours, and it's just so fast paced from the beginning. It just rolls.
And it's long, but it doesn't feel 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's just something going on. I love it's just, yeah. I appreciate your help in getting me to the golden bucket. And I'm sure Sack Lunch is going to give me crap about it, but I don't care. It's my show, and I really love this movie. Anything we missed before we continue the Cageaissance?
I think this was a great start. I'm excited for Con Air.
I am too, because it's not very often that you get to watch a movie that a lot of people like and you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, this is a reverse. Usually I haven't seen it, so I'm excited to hear your first impression of what this spectacle of Con Air is.
Yeah, because we did it with you with the Daniel Craig Bond films.
Yeah.
I did it with Sack Lunch with Mission Impossible films. You hadn't seen any of them. It's kind of a reoccurring theme, and it's funny that now it comes to me. So it's come full circle.
I'm ready for it.
All right. And here's another, I forgot to put this soundbite. This is the soundbite about the Bond reference.
Hey, do it.
Oh, I was trained by the best. British intelligence. Come on. But in retrospect, I'd rather have been a poet or a farmer.
Okay.
I love that. I love Sean Connery. I love this movie, and I appreciate you coming.
It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Appreciate you guys coming on this journey with us. It's not over. It's just beginning, and I appreciate it. But that's it for this week. I'm with you always. I love you. I just said I love you, and I'm not going to retract that. But I do love you, and I love movies, and I would love it if you'd share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. If you made it this far, go give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcast. I command thee. As always, thanks for listening, and thanks to my special guest. Can you smell what he is cooking? The JJ. That's kind of a rock reference, right?
Yeah, I mean, The Rock did take over this movie, The Wrestler, so...
That's true.
But I'll allow it.
All right.
I smell it.
You smell it. We smelled it. We got a little green goo on us.
Some green balls in our mouth, but we made it.
We made it. As always, remember, when you watch movies, you can pop off, pop in, or pop out, but always bring the popcorn. We'll see you for Con Air next week.